Hello and welcome to History 2010, Section 42I. This is the United States to 1865. This is an internet 4-week course for the July 2026 summer session. I'm the professor for the class. My name is Dr. James McDonald. I promise this will be a short video introduction, less than 15 minutes. And it serves a purpose of kind of doing a course introduction the same way we would if we were all sitting together in a classroom. Let me say a few things about the class in this introduction. We'll go over the syllabus, the course expectations, and I'll start by just saying from the very beginning, you are going to complete a whole semester in 4 weeks. So it's pretty fast paced, but that's understandable. And you're not taking a lot of other courses this summer. And the other thing I will say is that the class is designed for you to succeed. Very straightforward, clear expectations. We've got a textbook. We have 4 exams, one every week. We've got 4 discussions, one every week. Your grade is based on the exams and the discussions. The exam questions come from a study guide that I give you at the beginning of the week as you make your way through the reading of the textbook. So alternately, we're going to go from here, Moodle, and we're going to go to the syllabus and some of the other resources that you'll be able to find here as you start navigating your way through the class. All right, so let's take a look at that syllabus. Here it is. Okay, I'm guessing this is an internet class. You all will choose to communicate with me by email. Just make sure you spell my name correctly. It's M-A-C, it's MacDonald J, nsula.edu. This syllabus is very straightforward. I don't fill it with a lot of unnecessary information. So we have the basics about the course, and that'll be up here in Moodle all the time. And then we have the class schedule. You're not going to see a lot of 2-page syllabuses, whatever they call them, probably around on campus. But I'm just of this idea that you don't need to put any extra information in the syllabus if you don't need to. Plus, this is what the video explanation is for. Okay, let's go down here and take a look at everything you need to know. We'll go back to Moodle because obviously with Moodle, that's where you're going to go and complete everything. And the syllabus is where you can look up what you've got to do in a given week. But at the same time, Moodle is going to tell you what to do week to week. Moodle seems to only like to just pull up the first week instead of, here we go, here's the whole course. Okay, so we got the syllabus there. The book you'll find right here. So you'll click on this, and what you're going to need to do, this is an ebook, right? So it's an electronic text. So once you click on this, you'll find you'll have to create your own login with the textbook publisher. But once that happens, it'll look like that. And so there is your text, and clicking on all of the chapters. You're going to read the first 14 chapters. And it's pretty evenly paced. But once again, we're doing a semester's worth of work in 4 weeks. But just stay on track and do the work, and you'll do fine. Of course, syllabus is right there. The university policies with any information you might need. There's a separate link there. We have discussion boards that are part of the class grades. I'll click on that in a second. I'll get back to that. But here's essentially week 1 is everything you'll need to find and complete. We start with the first 3 chapters of the textbook, and roughly these are the major themes of the first textbook chapters. You have a discussion that's due at Friday at the end of the day. That discussion comes from one of the crash course videos that you probably have seen, maybe different disciplines, English, literature, world history, so on and so forth. And at the end of the week, you've got your first exam. So exams run from Friday to Sunday. So they'll open Friday morning, then they'll close Sunday at 11 p.m. So You basically got 3 full days to complete the exam. And I told you at the very beginning that the exam questions come from a study guide. So here it is. Every week, because this first exam covers 3 chapters, you'll have a study guide on those 3 chapters, and it looks like, hopefully I pulled it up, looks like this. Every exam has 50 questions, and the study guide has 50 questions. You don't need to fill this out and send it back to me, but you probably would do well to use it and read as you move forward. Okay, and there you have it. You'll get one of these for every exam. So let's go back to Moodle. So I navigate this. These PDF files are outlines for the chapter. I mean, if you want to use them, you can. Students have found that they're helpful. Here's your discussion. It's based on the crash course. So you're going to click on that. It's going to bring up a YouTube video. You'll need to watch the YouTube video. And then you click here to answer it. And here's the question that we need you to answer. I'm going to talk about the Black legend. First couple of chapters deal with colonization and the meaning of the different worlds, Europe, and the indigenous people who lived in the Americas. So you'll answer that right there. I've got a couple requirements for the discussions, and we'll go back to the discussion board expectations right here. Really straightforward. They're all worth 25 points, and there's 4 of them. So it's like getting an equivalent of a test grade. There are essentially a couple of things you need to do. Number one, I'm not going to get into the details of this, but take this seriously. Write the thing, write it well, capitalization, spelling correctly, all those things you do. The other couple of requirements are that you need to write this on your own. This is the AI statement for the class. Please don't use AI to generate an answer. Don't be lazy. Write it in your own words. By the way, I can tell. And the other requirement is that discussions need to be at least 150 words. Very straightforward. So the first week, you've got it on a crash course video. The second week, because we're going to be getting into the formation literally of the United States, the requirement's a little different. You're going to be reading the actual Declaration of Independence, and you're going to answer the question here in the discussion. So yes, read. It's not, believe it or not, it's not a particularly long document, but it's got a specific requirement here. I want you to pick a couple of parts of it and then discuss it. So in your own words, that's the big thing. No AI, no copying, pasting from the internets, just in your own words. And each of those discussions are 25 points. So if you don't do them, it's kind of like you're going to torpedo your grade. I mean, students I've seen in the past, like they answer all the questions on all the exams, they do great, and then they don't do the discussions. They're due Friday, not the following Tuesday. That's in the syllabus, so we'll go back to that in a second. Make sure I can find all the things I have pulled up here. Yes, there we go. So 4 exams, right? They're all 50 multiple choice. You have an hour to do them, so you can't look up the answers while the exam is going. So don't do that. And we're going to drop the lowest grade. So your 3 best exams plus your discussions equal 400 points, and your grade is based on it. Your percentage out of 400, 90%, you get an A, so on and so forth. So the discussions are worth 25 points. They're worth 25% of your grade. So all 4 of them add up to 100. If you don't have them turn out to be 150 words, that'll be deducted. If you don't write clearly, and if you turn in gobbledygook that looks like basically a glorified text message, that doesn't count either. If you turn them in late, they're going to be penalized 10% of the value. After the 4th day, don't bother. You cannot turn them in at the end of the semester because you forgot to do them. They're due every Friday, so turn them in then. So you turn it in Friday, and then the rest of the weekend, you got to take the exam. Pretty straightforward. I keep regular internet hours, and I'm pretty good about responding. Just know that I'm a middle-aged man who doesn't keep the same hours that your students do. So that usually means I'm not up particularly late, and I do get started kind of early. So keep that in mind. If anything happens that you need to contact me. I'm good about responding. Anything that comes up at all, don't hesitate. I think I told you before, the rest of the syllabus is essentially the schedule. So you've got readings to do every week, a discussion, and an exam. Again, we're cramming in 14 chapters of the book. The book, again, it's not the biggest page turner ever, but if you do the reading, work on this study guide as you go along, you're going to do fine on the exams. Um, I usually end up dropping someone's lowest grade being an A because everyone usually does well. But you have to put the work in. Very student friendly, I think, for the whole class. So this is the schedule, but the schedule is also in Moodle. And I'm going to open 1 week at a time. This is not going to be kind of a free for all. We're going to have, a week's worth of work, and then we move into week 2, and then we have more reading to do, right? They're your major themes for each of the chapters. You've got a second discussion, and at the end of the week, you have another exam. And here's the study guide for the second set of readings. So this particular week, the middle 2 weeks, week 2 and 3, you've got 4 chapters to read. So pace yourself with the reading. This is essentially 1 or 2 classes that you'll have in the summer, so you're not going to be overly burdened with extra reading. You might find you're interested in a lot of the reading or not. Just depends on what era of history might appeal to you. But this is, again, the formation of the United States. It's a really interesting story, and I'm not saying that just because I'm a professor of history. And I think you'll hopefully get something out of it. Week 2, you've got, again, another discussion. Week 3, we move on, and another exam, another discussion. This one's based on another crash course, which are quite good as far as their research have been done. In week 4, we have our last discussion. They started a new series called Black American History for Crash Course. And so that's done by Clint Smith, who's a very outstanding historian, and he'll narrate and go through that particular subject. And if you're interested in watching more of those, the crash course videos are 12, 15 minutes each one. So they're mini lessons, and I want you to pay attention to them, and I want you to answer those discussions, again, in your own words and 150 words, and turn into polished, submission. Writing is part of what we do. Even though we've got AI and everything else now, you still need to figure out how to put your thoughts together and to organize them and to speak and write clearly. That's an important, believe it or not, skill set that you should have. And it's part of the grade. So for in my mind, the discussions are kind of like a free grade. If you do well on them, and your test grades aren't where you want them to be, that can help your average. So just keep that in mind. All right, so an exam a week, a discussion board a week. Every Monday, I'll open up a new week of the class, so that's where you get to see the new study guide that you've got for your readings that week and work your way through the course. It's very straightforward, and I will just remind you, if you have any questions, concerns, or anything else that comes up, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'm Dr. McDonald. I'm here to help, and hopefully you will get something out of the class, maybe even enjoy it. But more importantly, that you will, again, set a good schedule, be disciplined enough to get everything done. You showed the initiative to get the extra work moving through the summer, and that's great. That's great. And this class is designed knowing that you have to put this work in and you've got this opportunity to get some of your required or core classes done, whatever the case may be. So have a good July semester. And again, if you need to contact me, my information is right there, email on the syllabus.